Hi. We get a lot of tech support requests from people asking how can I change a whole bunch of records in my log automatically at once without having to type each change in by hand. For what we're doing for this particular example is for a gentleman who worked a contest and accidentally put in 200 watts for all the QSOs instead of 100 watts, about 750 QSOs. He doesn't want to go back and, type that 100 watts in for 750 times. Fortunately, he doesn't have to do that. Um, Logic has a facility that makes it fairly easy to do any kind of changes like that. This example will be for changing the power from 200 watts to 100 watts for a particular contest. Keep in mind that this is just an example and kind of try to get concepts out of this because I don't want to make a new video every time someone has a little bit different request. So first thing I'm going to do is make a backup because you can really screw your data up doing this. So I'm going to pause and go make a backup and come back. Hello, here I am again. Did a very quick backup. Go to Tools, Advanced, and Database Commands. Okay, this is a facility that executes Visual FoxPro commands. You can use it to change your data. Visual FoxPro is the language that most of Logic is written in. There's a good bit of C# and .NET stuff now, but all the data is still Visual FoxPro files, and this is just a very handy facility to do this. This little screen here is a front end to the underlying language engine. The first thing to do, you need to open a file. Say, there you have a whole bunch of files. You have log file, of course, that we're going to want to work with, but there is also other files within Logic you could potentially work with, like the list of valid values or the spot log. Or, if you had FoxPro or DBase files that don't even have to be part of Logic, you could still access them with this. But anyway, we're just going to tell it to use a log file. I could click here and go to navigate to program files x86 and log data. I've already done that, and there's the log. There's the log file. Usually the thing to do is just do this. Type in use log and press enter. Okay, and you see down here that the log file is open. As we're seeing here, most things can be done with menus, but everything can be done with a command. So the menus are a lot easier. You really don't have to know the language if you just kind of remember the sequence to go through, or there's help here that kind of tells you some more documentation on that, but people don't read anymore. They like to watch videos. So I go to database files and I want to do a mass change. What I want to do, I want to replace field contents. There's user-defined field contents and field contents, so it's kind of procedure is very similar. You just need to know which one to choose, and if you can't find the field in question on one, try the other. I happen to know that power is not a user-defined field. I'm going to click there, and it says replace this field. I don't want to replace the call sign. I want to replace power. And they're kind of listed in order they appear in the log file. Kind of some more common ones are first. I have to go down through, look for it till I can find it. There we go. I'm going to replace power with 100 watts. Since 100 is a number, this is one thing that's a little bit complicated, is knowing whether to put quotes in or not. If I was replacing say the comment with something, or the name with something, or QTH, or contest ID, something's character, I'd have to put quotes around it. But this is just a number. This can kind of help you out, but if it's character, put quotes around it. If it's not, don't. Okay, now I could go ahead and click here. It would replace every QSO in the log with 100 watts. That's not what we want, and I made a backup, so if I accidentally clicked OK here, we would be able to recover. You did make the backup, right? Okay. But we want to replace only if. Okay, we want to replace only if, let's say, the QSO date, down here so you can see it, is, let's say, June 1 or later. Okay. And I could also do between, in which case I'd have to type in 2 dates, but I'm just going to do greater than or equal to, which in the case of dates means June 6, 16 or later. I also just, I only want to change the Q. Maybe I worked a few QSOs that I did QRP or something. I don't want to mess those up. So I'm going to make sure that the power that I'm changing is 200 watts. And let's also make sure that the contest ID is WPX. And I can click OK here, and it kind of generates a computer expression for me that defines what I want to change. And if you're all familiar with programming, or even if you're not, it would just kind of make sense. The contest ID has to be WPX, and the power is 200 watts, and the QSO date is, just the way you type in a date in this language. I could click OK, and it would go ahead and do that for me. I could count the number of QSOs it's going to do. Okay, there are 15 records. It would change, which that's about right for my test data here. If it came up with, 50,000, I thought, something isn't right. I could also preview the data that it's going to change. I don't know if you can see this or not. My little recording window disappeared. Okay, but anyway, cancel won't do anything. Another thing I can do is click Don't Execute Command, so it'll just kick the command back here to the command window for me, but puts an asterisk in front of it. So just, there's no chance I can hit enter, nothing happens. I can type in hi there with an asterisk behind it just to comment. The language engine ignores it. If I type in hi there without it, it tries to execute it. It doesn't know what I'm talking about, so it throws up an error. But I want to go ahead and execute this now, so I just go back up on that line, delete the asterisk, and hit enter. Okay, let's go back to the log. And okay, see there, it's all 100, it's all been changed to 100 watts now. A few more examples here. Let's say that we wanted to change a user defined field. We go here, we do the same thing, except the only thing that's really different is this. I'm going to replace the antenna field. And I want to replace it with Yagi. Remember I said if it's a character field, I need to put quotes around it. So I just do, like this. And I can use single or double quotes. They just have to match. And, I'm just going to replace everything in the log. I click OK. Replace all records, and just kind of reminding me I forgot to limit, I'm going to do everything. I say, yeah, go ahead. So if I look in the user-defined field of every QSO in the log, it's going to have Yagi in it. Another thing I can do is delete records. So I can click there, and it's almost exactly the same. Let's say we wanted to delete all the 60-meter QSOs. Okay, band equals 60 meter. I don't have any 60-meter QSOs in here, so it doesn't make any difference, but that's just something else you can do with it. You can, browse the currently open file, like there's the log, and you can kind of see it just, kind of like the browse window on the log form. I can open a different file. This or this is the same thing. I navigate to program files, x86, log data, and let's look at spots. And I can, I can browse again. I can see all the spots that are in there. I could go modify structure. There's a utility to do this for the log form. mainly for changing the sizes of fields, but you can actually do it for any field if you know what you're doing. So that's about all that. That's about the extent of it. Very powerful. Just saves hours and hours of time, especially if you import data that the tag of the user-defined field isn't quite right or something like that. That's easy to fix. In fact, let me do that. Let's suppose that I imported a bunch of data with antenna as the user-defined field tag, and I want to replace it with ANT so that it matches the way I have logic set up. If I go to Tools, Advanced, and Database Commands, oops, I'm sorry, Tools, Set Up, Log Fields, minimize that, get the antenna field. Okay, that's the way I have it set up. I just imported a bunch of data. By the way, you can specify a different ADIF name. I'll just mention this isn't really on topic, but if the ADIF name was antenna, I could specify that here, and it would, when I go to import it, it would change it for me. But let's say I've already imported it, and I don't want to import it again. Go to Tools, Advanced, Database Commands. Okay, the window's down here. I'll use log again. Okay, I mean, it was already still in use because I hadn't opened the thing, but just to show everything. I want to go, this actually is something I can't quite do with a menu, but I can replace, let's do as much as I can with the menu. Let's go to Database Commands, Mass Change. We don't want to replace user-defined field contents. We want to replace the tag itself. Let me just review how that works. Use, log, browse. Okay, and we tab out here to the, or I'll just scroll, it might be quicker. Find the comment field. Okay, there's all the, all the antenna fields. And I want to change, like, ANT, ENNA. Say they all came in that way, and I want to change them to ANT. Okay, so I want to change that. Just I want to change antenna. Just pretend that all these say antenna instead of ANT. Okay, I want to mass change. I want to replace field contents. I want to do the comment, the user-defined user fields. Okay, I want to do that field, and I want to replace it with, let's just put this in here. Okay, I don't want to do that now because that would put XXX in all my user fields, which would be garbage, and the computer wouldn't understand it. This is just to kind of set the command up for me. I don't want to execute this. I say OK. And I say replace in all records. Yeah, I'm not going to really do it because it's put an asterisk before it. So I want to replace all user fields with, and I do strtran. And this is in the help, by the way. And I want to change comma ANT colon okay. So that will go by and do what I want to do. I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to change ANT to antenna just so we can go by and verify that, that it actually did it. Okay, and so I go to browse, and there it is, antenna. Okay, I'm going to change them all back just so my my test data isn't mixed up here. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to do this now, and I look at it again. It's all antenna. So using the expressions and functions help in logic. There's a lot that you can do here. Thank you for watching.